Dear friend, welcome to the lecture series in electromagnetic fields and waves. In today's video lecture, we are going to discuss about the reflection of electromagnetic wave by a perfect conductor with the normal incidence. Let us consider a plane wave incident normally on a perfect conductor at z equal to 0. Let us consider here a perfect conductor. The plane wave is incident normally onto the surface of the perfect conductor and it is totally reflected back here. In order to understand the incident and reflected electric and magnetic field components here, let us consider the right hand thumb rule. Here, the thumb indicates the z-axis, forefinger indicates the x-axis, middle finger indicates the y-axis. Let us consider the thumb indicates the direction of propagation, that is, the propagation is oriented along the z-axis, and the electric field is oriented along the x-axis, which is indicated by the forefinger, and the magnetic field is oriented along the y-axis. And here, if we observe this finger direction, it is coming out from the screen, that is towards you, and coming out is indicated with the dot. Coming to the reflected wave here, by looking at this right hand, here we can observe that the electric field is oriented along the x-axis and the middle finger is going inside the screen, and it is indicated by the cross mark and indicates that the magnetic field is oriented along that y-axis. Now the propagation of the plane wave after reflection is in the negative z direction. As no electromagnetic field existed within a perfect conductor, so wave neither transmitted nor absorbed in the perfect conductor. So here the incident wave is completely reflected back. In this particular picture, the blue color indicates the incident electric field and the red color indicates the reflected electric field. In the same way, the green and purple colors indicates the incident and reflected magnetic fields respectively. The incident fields that we can write as EI bar equivalent to EI e power minus j beta z x bar. Here EI is the magnitude of incident electric field and e power minus j beta z indicates that the electric field is propagating along the positive z direction. AX indicates the direction of orientation of the electric field along the x-axis. Coming to the magnetic field, HI bar is equivalent to HI e power minus j beta z AY bar. Hi is the magnitude, e power minus j beta z indicates the propagation of the direction, that is along the z direction, and AY bar indicates the orientation of the magnetic field along the y-axis. In the same way, writing the expression for the reflected fields, we can write ER bar is equivalent to ER e power j beta z x bar. Here e power j beta z indicates that the wave propagation is along the negative z direction. ER is the magnitude and AX bar indicates the orientation of the electric field along the x-axis. Coming to HR bar, it is given by HR e power j beta z AY bar. HR is the magnitude. E power j beta z indicates the wave is propagating along the negative z direction and that field is oriented along the y-axis. At the boundary, the tangential component of the electric field vector is 0. So we can write EI plus ER is equivalent to ET, where this tangential components now becomes 0, so that we can write EI is equivalent to minus of ER. Here this minus indicates uh, the electric field vector that is reflected with the 180-degree phase shift at the boundary surface. Now the incident and reflected waves traveling in opposite direction and they produce a standing wave that we can observe in this picture. Here the incident wave and the reflected wave both are forming in a particular structure, and we call that one as a standing wave. The electric field strength of a standing wave is given as E of z equivalent to EI e power minus j beta z plus ER e power j beta z. As we know that ER can be written as minus of EI, and substituting that here we get EI e power minus j beta z minus EI e power j beta z. Now taking EI as a common term, then EI can be written as EI can be multiplied with e power minus j beta z minus e power j beta z. Now multiplying and dividing the expression with 2j and rearranging this expression, we get 2j EI of e power minus j beta z minus e power j beta z over 2j. And we know that this particular term is equivalent to minus of sine beta z, so that we can write minus 2j EI sine beta z. And this is equivalent to E of z. Writing this one in terms of vector form, so E bar of z is equivalent to minus 2j EI sine beta z, and this electric field is oriented along the x-axis, so the direction is given by AX bar. Now the field in time domain can be represented by multiplying that particular expression with e power j omega t, and we are interested to extract the real part from this particular expression, and writing this e power j omega t as cos omega t plus j sin omega t, and multiplying minus 2j ei sin beta z into the cos omega t as well as j sin omega t term, then we get finally the real part of minus 2j ei sin beta z cos omega t x bar plus 2 ei sin beta z sin omega t x bar. And we are interested in extracting the real part, so that it gives us e bar of z comma t equivalent to ei sin beta z sin omega t x bar. And this particular term is the imaginary part where we are not interested in. The maximum amplitude 2ei occurs at odd multiples of lambda by 4 from the surface that we can observe in the standing wave structure diagram. Similarly, the magnetic field strength of a standing wave is given by h of z is equivalent to hi e power minus j beta z plus hr e power j beta z. As we know that hi is equivalent to hr, so that hi e power minus j beta z plus hi e power j beta z we get. Taking hi as common, and we get hi of e power minus j beta z plus e power j beta z. And multiplying and dividing with 2 to the above expression, we get 2 hi of e power minus j beta z plus e power j beta z over 2. And we know that e power minus j beta z plus e power j beta z over 2 can be written as cos beta z. And substituting that, we get 2 hi cos beta z, which is equivalent to h of z. Now writing this particular term in the form of the vector, so we get h bar of z is equivalent to 2 hi cos beta z ay bar. Now representing the field in time domain, and that can be written as 2 hi cos beta z e power j omega t ay bar, and we are interested in getting the real part of this one, and expanding this e power j omega t as cos omega t plus j sin omega t, and multiplying 2 hi cos beta z inside, then we get real part of 2 hi cos beta z cos omega t plus 2 hi cos beta z j sin omega t. Now taking this ay direction to each individual term, then we get real part of 2 hi cos beta z cos omega t ay bar plus j 2 hi cos beta z sin omega t ay bar. Here we are interested in extracting the real part. So this particular term becomes the imaginary part, as j indicates that it is imaginary part, and this will be the real part. So here h bar of z comma t is equivalent to 2 hi cos beta z cos omega t ay bar. And here we know that eta is equivalent to ei over hi, and hi can be written as ei over eta, so that this hi is now replaced with ei over eta, and we can write h bar of z comma t is equivalent to 2 ei over eta cos beta z cos omega t ay bar. The maximum amplitude 2 hi occurs at even multiples of lambda by 4 from the surface, and again we can observe this from the standing wave structure diagram. Hope you like this video and understood how to derive the expression for the reflection of the EM wave by the perfect conductor with the normal incidence. Do subscribe my channel and also click the bell icon, so that you will be notified with the latest video lectures in electromagnetic fields and waves series. Thanks for watching.